Well, we all know Texans love their football, and as Austin grows, we're seeing a few more pro sports teams too. Not only are we getting a professional soccer team, but the Austin Gilgronis are getting ready to kick off another season of pro rugby right here in our city. Joining me now to discuss their upcoming season and teach us a thing or two about the sport from down under is head coach Sam Harris. G'day, mate.
G'day, mate. G'day, Stephanie. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. We share, a love and a community from over in Australia, a half a world away there. And I'm so excited to not only talk to you today about your background and about all things rugby, but a little bit about Australia too. So let's get started, Sam, with talking about rugby in general, because as we know, Austin loves their football, and we all need to learn, just a thing or two about rugby. What makes it different and what makes it similar to football? Because, there's a lot going on with this sport and we need to know about it.
Yeah, there sure is, Stephanie. And I want to make something clear. We're not here to compete with football because it's a great game. I'm a personal fan myself. Rugby is probably just as physical as NFL, if not more. It's got more contacts per game. And as a player has to play both sides of the ball. So they have to carry the ball. They also have to tackle the player. They have to be powerful, but they also have to have endurance. So it's that really nice mix of brutal sport mixed with skillful acumen. And the really nice thing about rugby, I think, is whilst it is so physical, it's also played by gentlemen. There's a lot of gentlemanly acts within the game, and one, for instance, is that they call the referee sir, and treat that person with a lot of respect.
I do love that about this game. And, as a rugby fan myself, my time in Australia, I did learn a thing or two about rugby. But you're right, it's not here to compete with American football. It is just here to enhance our lives as sports fans, which I love. And of course, such a great team sport. They also remind me a lot of gladiators, not wearing, the padding, the helmets and things. So it's very rough, very raw, but a lot of fun to watch. All right, Sam, I could talk rugby to you all day, but it's not a team without the players. What are they like?
The players, they're amazing. There's a great quote from Winston Churchill that says, "Rugby is a hooligan's game played by gentlemen." I've compiled a team of internationals and Americans, and I think we have got 10 different countries represented in this team, and all of them I obviously like to have rugby talent, but the key thing in my recruitment was that they need to be good people before they're good rugby players, and that's really come through. We've been doing a lot of Zoom calls over the last 6 months to kind of connect as a team before we actually meet physically, and there's just so many really good people, or as we call them in Australia, legends, and there's some really great stories. We've been connecting and hearing each other's stories about why they fell in love with rugby, who was really influential in their pathway to rugby, and it's really built a narrative to who they are as people and what we're building towards. And yeah, I think in terms of what's rugby got over football, I also think that maybe they're really approachable people. And after games, if you do come out to the games at CODA, at Circuit of America, you can meet these guys and you can have a chat to them, you can learn about them, and you can shake their hand, get photos with them, and have a beer with them even after the game.
This is about to be AG Rugby's second official season here in Austin. Now, I want to know what fans can actually expect at a game, because I know there's a lot going on with it.
There is a lot going on with it. And I think what's really special about the AGs is that we recognise that sport needs to deliver more than the 80 minutes of rugby that we put on the park. And so there's a lot of pre-game entertainment. Rugby's always been a game that's catered for families and children. So they entertain their children with something like jumping castles or different activities for the kids. So they want to come back ultimately. Halftime show. There's always a halftime show, and it's always wacky and quirky and funny and always something for the spectator to see there. And then obviously the product itself, the game, is very entertaining. And then after the match, I think we will have lots of great entertainment to just offer the patrons more than just a game of rugby.
I love it. I love to be entertained, and it is such a great city to go out and actually, listen to live music, eat some great food, and now watch some rugby. So as I prepare for this upcoming match, can you talk to us just a little bit about when that's actually going to be and how folks can, get involved? Where can we find more information?
Yeah, sure. Well, first of all, you can find more information at agrugby.com. That's the place to go to get your info. But in terms of the competition, round one is March 20 against the two-time defending champions, the Seattle Seawolves. And we're going to have themes through the season for every home match. And the theme for round one is Austin Music Foundation. And we're going to have a very, very big name, internationally renowned local talent playing after the game. I can't reveal who that will be, but that would be worth the price of admission alone. Plus, you get a great game of rugby where you get to see the AGs go up against the competition's best and hopefully come out the victors.
Fantastic. Well, I'll be there cheering for him. And I've got to throw this at you real quick. I think, having spent some time in Australia, learning a thing or two about rugby here and there, and now being, back into the whole American sport myself, there's things that have stuck in my head that, maybe don't translate as well, or folks might just want to learn a thing or two about. So the one word that I like to say, and that I want you to tell us a little bit about, as an American, what is a scrum and how does that work? I like that word, and I think it's so different for us. So give us a little bit of background and paint us a picture of what that actually is.
Yeah, it's a really good question, Stephanie. Just this week, earlier in the week, I ran a Rugby 101 for a lot of the people that will be working within the stadium and with our crew and our media team, and just kind of explaining the different rules and intricacies of the game. And scrum was the hot topic, obviously, because it's quite it's quite perplexing as to what's going on if you don't have a clue. So there's really three starting points of our game. So you can start the game with three different areas, and that's: one's a kickoff, two is a line out, and third is the scrum. And the scrum is where the forwards, 8 players from each team, get in a funny position. They pack up into a low squatting scenario, and then they come together in a safe way, mind you. And then what they have is like more than a ton of weight for both teams coming through the meeting point there. And then a ball is delivered into the scrum, and then they need to push. They need to push to try and win possession of that ball. Whoever's got the strongest scrum will have dominance and maybe get that ball. And then that's just a starting point for another part of the game.
So much fun to watch. And I've got to say, I've always wanted to be a part of a scrum. I know I'm, this small girl trying to picture my way into that, but I always feel like I could be a part of that force. So it is really, really cool to watch a bunch of people, move in that way. And it's so different from American football. So I can't wait for Austin to get to know, even a little bit more about rugby. And Sam, I'll be cheering there. I'll see you at the game. I cannot wait. Thank you so much for your time today, and welcome to Austin.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's great to be here. What a great city. Can't wait to see it in all its glory. Stephanie, you're always welcome at any of our training sessions down at Round Rock. You can come and jump in the scrum at any time you want, or even just have a look at it. And thank you so much for giving me some time. And